In 1989, a man went on television and told the world something that should have been impossible to say. He said he had worked for the United States government at a classified facility in the Nevada desert on technology that did not come from this planet. His name was Bob Lazar. He was a physicist, and what he described, in precise, technical, unwavering detail, has never been fully debunked. This is not a story about a conspiracy theorist. This is not a story about someone who saw lights in the sky and let their imagination run wild. This is a story about a man who claims he held extraterrestrial technology in his hands, who reverse-engineered propulsion systems that defied every known law of physics, who watched from the Nevada desert as recovered craft performed maneuvers that no human-made vehicle could replicate, and who has been telling the exact same story without contradiction for over 30 years. Bob Lazar did not set out to become famous. In the late 1980s, he was working as a physicist in Los Alamos, New Mexico. By his account, he had an impressive resume: degrees from MIT and Caltech, experience at one of the most prestigious scientific research facilities in the United States. Then, in 1988, he was contacted by a man named Edward Teller, the father of the hydrogen bomb, one of the most influential scientists in American history. Teller had apparently seen Lazar's work. He was impressed, and he referred Lazar for a position so classified that Lazar himself didn't fully understand what he was applying for until he was already inside. The facility was called S4, located at Papoose Lake, Nevada, roughly 15 miles south of the main Area 51 complex at Groom Lake. To get there, Lazar was flown on unmarked aircraft from Las Vegas, his face turned away from the windows, his movements strictly controlled. What he found when he arrived was not what he expected. There were 9 craft, not prototypes, not experimental aircraft built from known materials with known propulsion systems. 9 vehicles that Lazar described as genuinely, fundamentally alien in their construction and design. He was assigned to work on one of them. His job, as he understood it, was to reverse engineer the propulsion system, to figure out how it worked, to find a way to replicate it. The craft he worked on was approximately 50 feet in diameter, disc-shaped, seamless, no visible bolts, no welds, no seams of any kind. The interior was small, with tiny seats that suggested the occupants were not human-sized. The walls were made of a material he couldn't identify. The craft appeared to have been built as a single, continuous piece, but it was the propulsion system that stopped him cold. The craft did not run on jet fuel. It did not run on any conventional energy source. It ran on a substance called element 115. In 1989, element 115 did not exist on the periodic table. It was theoretical, unconfirmed. The scientific community had no verified sample of it anywhere in the world. Lazar described it in precise detail: a stable, super-heavy element that, when bombarded with protons, produced a unique form of antimatter reaction. That reaction, amplified and directed, generated a gravitational field, a wave that the craft could ride like a surfer rides a wave. Not thrust, not lift, gravity manipulation. The craft didn't fly through space. It bent space around itself. It could cross enormous distances not by moving fast, but by folding the space between 2 points and stepping across. In 2003, 14 years after Lazar first described it, element 115 was officially synthesized by scientists in Russia and confirmed by the International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. It was added to the periodic table in 2016 under the name Moscovium. Lazar had described a non-existent element in precise technical detail, 14 years before it was discovered. He also described what he saw beyond the craft. In briefing documents he was given at S4, there were references to extraterrestrial biological entities, to ongoing interactions between these entities and the United States government, to agreements, formal, documented agreements that had been in place for decades. He saw photographs, he read reports, and in one briefing room, he saw something that he has spoken about carefully and reluctantly in the years since. A small figure, standing with two men in white lab coats, at the end of a corridor. He saw it for only a moment. The door was closed. He was told to keep moving. He kept moving.
The government's response to Bob Lazar was swift and methodical. His employment records at Los Alamos were deleted. His academic records from MIT and Caltech could not be verified. His name did not appear in any government database connected to S4 or any associated program. On paper, Bob Lazar had never worked anywhere near Area 51. But here is what they couldn't erase: a W-2 tax form issued to Robert Lazar from the United States Department of Naval Intelligence for work performed at a facility designated as the Office of Naval Intelligence in the Nevada desert. The document exists. It has been examined. It is real. And Los Alamos National Laboratory, after years of denying any connection to Lazar, eventually confirmed that yes, Robert Lazar had worked there. His name appeared in a 1982 phone directory. His work had been real. They had tried to erase him. They had not done it completely. For 35 years, Bob Lazar has told the same story. Not approximately the same story. Not the same story with evolving details and convenient additions. The exact same story, the same technical specifications, the same locations, the same sequence of events, without material contradiction. Investigators have tried to catch him in inconsistencies. Journalists have spent years attempting to disprove his claims. Former colleagues have been interviewed, documents have been subpoenaed, and the facility he described, S4 at Papoose Lake, has been confirmed to exist as a classified installation. He has never been proven wrong about a verifiable fact. He has never changed his story to make it more dramatic. He has never written a book capitalizing on his fame, never launched a speaking tour, never monetized his story in the ways that people who fabricate these things inevitably do. What he has done is say the same thing, quietly and consistently, for 3.5 decades. Make of that what you will. Here is what we know for certain. Bob Lazar described element 115 14 years before it was confirmed to exist. The facility he described, S4, is real. His employment at Los Alamos has been verified. A government pay document connecting him to naval intelligence exists. Here's what we don't know: whether the craft were real, whether the briefing documents he read were accurate, whether what he saw at the end of that corridor was what he thought it was. And perhaps the question that sits beneath all of it: if one physicist was brought in to reverse engineer alien technology, how many others were there? What did they find? And what, after 35 years, do they still know that we don't? This is Void Archive. We don't give you answers. We give you the questions they don't want you asking. The next file is already open.